So we're talking about the battle for the mind, and we've so far dealt with limiting beliefs, how to identify them, why it's important to identify them, how to then begin to reframe and replace those limiting beliefs with what God knows to be true about you. And now I want to just take it to the next level with you. I just recently read an article by John Maxwell that I thought was profound, and it so fits what we're talking about here. It's the 6 steps to changing your life. And boy, you know, I love it, all these wonderful formulas, 6 this and 12, if you do these 12 things. It doesn't matter how many things it is. Just listen and understand that it's not that complicated to make radical change in your life. And it begins with your beliefs. It begins with your mind. It really does. The Bible's very clear that as a man thinketh, so is he. What you believe in your heart is your faith, and your faith is what actually is projected into your future and creates whatever your future becomes. So here's what John Maxwell had to say about 6 things that will change your life. He says, number 1, when you change your thinking, you change your beliefs. Number 2, when you change your beliefs, you change your expectations. Number 3, when you change your expectations, you change your attitude. Think about it. Number 4, when you change your attitude, you change your behavior. Number 5, when you change your behavior, you change your performance. And number 6, when you change your performance, you change your life. Watch. At the end of the day, when you change your mind, you change your world. In between those 2 points is changing your thinking, changing your beliefs, changing your expectations, changing your attitude, changing your behavior, changing your performance, and changing your life. What I'm trying to say to you is this. The process of becoming more of what God has called you to be, the process of becoming more of what God has created you to do, the process of shaking off some of the belief systems that we were handed as children and as young people and in our cultures. You might be from a third world nation. You might be from a developing world nation where not much is expected of you, and therefore you don't expect much of yourself. But whatever has been handed to you culturally, your ethnicity, your family, your upbringing, your religious mindsets, whatever's been handed to you is the first thing that must be addressed, because it affects your attitudes, your expectations, it affects your behaviors, your performance, and ultimately it will affect the outcomes in your life. I want to challenge you today. You can win the battle for the mind, but you have to be intentional about taking hold of everything that is not what God believes about you and reforming it, reframing it, making it come into obedience. Here's what that looks like, okay? There's a great metaphor that the Apostle Paul gave us in the epistles. He said, taking every thought captive. That is an aggressive military type of a term where it says, look, if there's a random thought out here that is not producing the results that God has set for your life, you have to grab that thing by the throat and lock it down. Take it captive. Another epistle says, casting down imaginations or images and every thought, every high thing that exalts itself against what God knows about you. My point is, you've got to be aggressive, you've got to be forceful, you might even have to get kind of nasty with it. But whatever you have to do, I want you to get serious about shifting your mind, shifting your thoughts, and changing the beliefs, because they can be changed. And when you change your mind, you change your world. My name is Brian Holmes. Always so glad to be with you. Thank you for joining us on this episode. We'll see you again very, very soon.